All right, so the next thing we're going to touch on is some recent reveals of stuff. There was a leak from one of the many Chinese auction websites. What a surprise. Good old Weibo, which is a Chinese auction website. A lot of times we learn about a lot of Transformer toys through this website. As a result, stuff stolen from the factories. This is still a thing. Still a thing that happens. So we recently were shown this new two-pack called the Transformers Tribute Evolution two-pack. And what is interesting about it is, and it's a very interesting two-pack, and why I wanted to talk about it was because it's a two-pack celebrating the two different takes of what a pre-Optimus Prime Optimus Prime was. Meaning that there's actually technically been three different takes. There was the original take on Optimus Prime before it was Optimus Prime was Orion Pax, which was a
Yep.
dock worker from the original Generation 1 cartoon. Kind of became the canon version of what Optimus Prime is today. A lot of people more readily accept that version. The second attempt was, and this one isn't included in the two pack, but was Dreamwave when they did the War Within comic book. I absolutely love that comic book. I suggest anyone who's a big Transformer fan to please go and read the first and the second one too. You'll learn about the Fallen too as a result of it. Very great book, very enjoyable. Art by art by the legendary Don Figueroa, who did a great job, made some great designs there. So there was that one, and that was Optronics. That was the second pre-Optimus Prime, who later became Optimus Prime in War Within when he was given the Matrix, a la Rodimus style. He kind of grew when he held the Matrix, which kind of contradicts some canon stuff of how the Matrix works with Rodimus exclusively. And the third version, which was based off of what we were given with another pre-Optimus Prime, and that is the War Within, not War Within, excuse me, War for Cybertron
Mm.
video games, and then later Fall of Cybertron. We have Optimus, and then which would later become Optimus Prime when he was given the Matrix. And so this two pack, what it does is it takes the old War for Cybertron Generations toy of Optimus Prime and gives it a minor repaint. I'm looking at it compared to the original that I have, and it looks like it got rid of some of the pink accents and put some light blues here and there. But it's more or less the same toy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second toy, and this is the one that really is interesting, is they took the Cup Titan Returns mold and they turned it into Orion Pax. Now, this isn't the first time this idea has happened, and what I mean by that is way back in, I want to say like 2005, 2006, eHobby, the Japanese toy exclusive company from Part 1, took the original G1 Cup and repainted it into Orion Pax and made it a eHobby exclusive. So they're kind of playing off of that, where it's, because the reality is Orion Pax, design wise, was very similar to that of Cup. So I can
Yeah,
see
like
the
the window on the chest kind of thing. The
even the alt
windshield.
mode. Even the alt mode, there was a lot of similarities that just lent to themselves. It's partially due to the fact that Fleur Deary, the guy who designed Orion Pax for Generation One for the cartoon, Orion Pax actually was a design that was used for Ultra Magnus that
Mm.
ended up not getting used, and then he's like, oh, why don't we use this for pre-Optimus Prime then? And that's kind of the origin of that character and that design. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the Ultra Magnus design was just kind of a recycled Cup idea. That's Fleur O'Deary. Fleur O'Deary is an eccentric Filipino man that I love because of what he brought visually to G1. But he has a lot of interesting design choices and stuff. And I mean, if you ever read interviews of some of his ideas behind Transformers and how he came to those ideas, maybe it's stuff that's lost in translation because he only speaks like broken English and perfect Tagalog, which is
Tagalog.
the Filipino language. And I remember reading like a lot of his interviews and stuff about how he came up with certain concepts. And the one that always stuck out to me was, "How did you design RC?" And he said, "I pictured a naked Princess Leia." And I was like, "All right, okay." So I guess we know what Carrie Fisher looks like in the nude back then. So, um, but it's just maybe Fluoro isn't telling us something. Maybe he was moonlighting.
Hey, 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 hey! Keep it moving.
Anyways, Point is it's a really cool two pack. I really dig it a lot. Something I'm actually kind of looking forward to picking up because it's just this nice little commemorative of the two different versions of Optimus Prime from two different continuities before he was Optimus Prime. And sadly, there's not a really good shot of the back of the box, which would, there's like one shot of the back of the box, but it cuts off half of what was written.
Mm.
And from what I could tell from that half of the text of the paragraph there, it looks like they're talking about, how there's two different, origins to Optimus Prime, and this is to commemorate those two different origins. Again, ignoring Dreamwave's interpretation, which is fine because there's a lot of stuff going on with Dreamwave.
Yeah, the box kind of confuses me a little bit because, like, when you look at the front of it, it's like, okay, you got the two tributes of Optimus Prime, and then there's a drawing of movie
A
Optimus
movie
Prime,
Prime on it, yeah, I
and he
know.
looks nothing like those two. And I'm like,
Yeah,
why would you?
and it's ironic too because like again, movie Optimus Prime's like pre-Optimus Prime form, he's actually going to get released too because he has the Protoform toy
Yeah,
is getting reissued, and I believe that's also in another two pack. I think that's a Walmart exclusive, but
it is in the two pack.
yeah. So I mean, it's needless to say, as we were saying before, when it came to the Transformer 5 last night toys, it's the sea of repaints.
Yeah,
So more repaints, more reissues, but this is one that I welcome. This is one that I welcome a lot. It looks really cool. I dig that cup a lot. I really do. That's a good toy. Um, and just doing it in the Optimus Prime colors just makes it look even more awesome, in my opinion.
yeah.
What do you think?
I think it looks pretty cool. I'm surprised that they're already using that mold so soon. Usually you would think that they would be waited for a while, but I guess they're like, no, no, I gotta use this. Gotta strike while the iron's hot. And it's a good mold.
Oh,
It's
it's a
just
great,
we-
it's a
I, fe-
great
I felt
mold.
it's just a little bit weird because like he has like two guns, and I think the story with Orion Pack is that he was either a librarian or
Librarian was Optronics, more of a
okay.
data archivist, and he was a dock worker in the cartoon.
And then what about the book, the
What do you mean?
novelization?
Oh God, yeah, I think he was also an archivist in that one too.
Yeah. So it's just like
Yeah,
the fact that he has like dual wielding two guns, cause yeah, got to read them books with guns. It just feels a little bit weird, but
they're Braille
I
readers,
mean,
Wendell. I don't know.
there's only so much you could do with what you're given. So I guess why change up the weapons when you could just give people the stuff they want.
You know what they are? You ever gone to like, well, whoever goes to libraries anymore? But you ever go to a library
A
and
lot
you
of people actually
and,
they have a bunch of
and you
other
take
stuff
out a
now.
book and they have to like scan the barcode?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe they're barcode scanners. They're QR code scanners. I don't know. The one thing I find weird with this, and again, it kind of makes me wish again that I could see the rest of the back of the box, is because it's a Titan Returns mold. It obviously has the headmaster gimmick going on, and I'm kind of wondering what's the name of this head. Is it just are they just gonna play off the fact that the head is a separate thing, or are they actually gonna give a name to the head, and are they gonna call it maybe Dion, which would be kind of silly if they did because that would be his friend, and why would his friend be his head? Anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's just I'm kind of curious what they're gonna do with that head sculpt. Like if they're gonna give it a name or something. Is there some kind of significance behind it? There's always those deeper levels that a lot of times Hasbro designers they plan stuff in advance. I know that when they did the headmaster for the six shot toy, they based it off of a character that appeared in like just the headmaster body itself was
Mm.
based off of a character that appeared in the Japanese headmaster cartoon, and you could only just see the fine detail on it. So I'm
Uh,
wondering if there's any like little nods or something, any intentions that they had with this one. Again, it's hard to tell because all we have is these Chinese auction photos to base it on. So but
Pretty
I'm
much.
I'm hype. I'm really digging it. Uh, I hope I hope to pick it up when it comes out. Anything else you want to touch on it?
No, not really. Covered all the bases on it basically.